And welcome here, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pictou County Wellness Center for this matchup between the Bombers and the Cougars. Puck drop for the first period is about to be underway here, as both teams get prepared. And here we go. Bombers win it back quick. Ty Bowden with it. You have to excuse the tripod. Sorry about that, folks. Next whistle, I will fix that so it's not so crooked. Ty Bowden behind the net. That gets moved around. Frazier playing it up to the line. And it's dumped in there by Bombers AP Will Hampton, coming up from the U15 AA Crushers. Filling in that spot is for Elijah Little, who's currently out right now. In the corner, now going the other way, the Cougars bringing it through. Marchie. He'll cut back and dump it into the corner there. There we go. Tripod's fixed there. Sorry about that, folks. Ross going the other way. Trying to bring this one in. Cohen Little playing that one back. And that one will go up and hit the netting. Just one moment there, folks. I'm going to try and fix this tripod for a better viewing experience. Doesn't seem to want to work with me. Sorry about this, folks. That one's played around along the boards there. Elijah Little trying to get his stick on it. Down and back. Anderson battling. Dumped in there. Out of the net, Cougars taking it around their side, trying to play this puck out. Back for Whittemore. Whittemore playing that over. McDaniel playing it in. Now Cohen Little going a shot on. And it's covered up there. Draw here in the Cougars zone. Flipped up high off the draw there. McDonald dangling his way in the slot, passing it over to Whittemore. A shot on, blocked in front there. Now going back out, McDaniel keeps it in at the line, but it's poked there by Parks. Back for Whittemore. He'll dump it into the Cougar zone. Played around as they try and get this one out. Parks trying to get the pass there. It flipped up high off a stick. And it's dumped in by the Cougars. Mason Gunn will play it around. He's in between the pipes tonight, or this afternoon, I should say, for the Bombers. Trying to lay the body there. McIntosh trying to poke at it. Dumped in there by the Cougars. Now around Parks, trying to poke it out of Mason Gunn's way. He'll take a tumble in front of the net. Rebound, a shot on, and Gunn gets back to make the save after taking a little bit of a tumble there. Still battling for this one. It'll flip out to the neutral. Cougars in possession here. Back in their own zone. Doctorow moving that one up. Pass doesn't get completed there. No icing on this play. Hampton with it. He'll move it to Grace. Grace playing that one in for Reed. Reed dumps it in. Playing that one around. Bowden takes a little bit of a tumble there. Battling for it. Reed gets it up to the line. Hampton a shot on. Tipped high. Bowden trying to get it in. And that rebound is controlled by the Cougars, and they'll take it out. Possession in their own zone now. Hampton moving that one to Grace. Grace playing that in for Frazier, who dumps it in on the backhand. Grace flipping that one through. Down in to the deep corner of the Cougars' end. As they try and work something out to bring it out here. Chasing after it, Thomas trying to get there. Grace got there first using his speed. Now he'll go the other way with it. Grace, a shot on, blocked in front. Cougars flipping this one high. But it's dumped back in there by Hampton. Moved over, Gaines. Trying to cut back. Frazier poking at it. Back for Gaines. A nice move there as Anderson loses his balance. Trying to bring this one in. A shot on. That one goes high. It's moved back around. Braun back four. Picks it up in his own zone. Braun flipping that one, and Graves tipping it in to the Bombers' zone here. Cormier moving that one around to Little. Little trying to get it to Anderson, intercepted there. Anderson getting it again, trying to keep this one in the zone. He will. Sticked up there by Swain. He'll have to let the Cougars play it. And it's played down in to the Bombers' zone. Cormier. Cormier in the corner. Moving that around. Matatal taking this one out of the Bombers' end. He'll play it into the corner of the Cougars' zone. As Anderson races for it, trying to get there. He'll get there and dump it into the corner. As the Cougars try and play this one out, intercepted by Anderson again. Poked by Parks. He'll flip it up high in the neutral. Braun racing for it. It's back for McDaniel. Braun using his body to grab it. Getting hooked up there. No call on this play. In front. And Mason Gunn makes the save. Timmons trying to play this one out. Now McDonald the other way. Hit off that one there. And it's back for Whittemore. Whittemore over to McDaniel. McDaniel trying to get it to McIntosh, who will poke it in. McDonald after it into the corner. Trying to get possession here. McIntosh helping out. McDonald still battling. McIntosh trying to play it into the slot here. Whittemore will pinch at it and keep it in. But that one will eventually get poked out as it's dumped in there by O'Neill. Gunn stopping it for McDaniel, excuse me. Now Whittemore. Almost hit off that one, avoids it. Gets it to Miller. Miller has a little room here. He'll walk in. Looking for an option. And that play's broken up. Good defensive play there by Parks. McIntosh picking it back up. He'll play it into the corner. No icing on this play. As it's moved back around. Cougars trying to break out here. Poking at it. Bowden looking for an option. Plays up to the line for Grace with a shot on. Rebound pops out for Bowden. And it's in. The Bombers strike first. Ty Bowden scoring the first goal again, as he did yesterday. And now the camera angle should be fixed a little bit for you folks. I apologize for that. As that one's played down by Hampton, it'll be an icing here against the Bombers. There we go, much better. All right. Draw here in the Bombers zone as they strike first. Ty Bowden doing it once again for the Bombers. As it's played out, Bowden again with it. He'll go the other way, giving it to Reed. Reed working his way in, loses that one. A nice poke from Graves. Now Grace to Hampton, playing that one into Bowden. Tip through, Ross trying to get there. Couldn't reach it as Grace shuts him down. Hampton couldn't keep that one as it flipped over his stick. And it's passed over. Grace getting back here. Grace firing that up. And Bowden tries to tip it in. It'll be an icing. Draw here will go back into the Bombers zone. Margie taking this draw for the Cougars as they try and set something up. He'll win it back. Up to the line. Braun keeping it in. Moved around to Graves with a shot on. Blocked in front by Ross. Margie playing that one over. Braun fans on that shot. Bowden will pick it up. He'll bring it out, trying to get it to Reed. That passes in his feet. Recovering is Ross, who dumps it in to the Cougars zone. Back around, Graves picking it up. He'll cut back in and take his time. He moves it to Braun. Intercepted there. Little pushing it back in. Now Anderson, Little, and Frazier are in to Frazier. Back for Little, and they couldn't get the shot off the puck was bouncing around. Couldn't get it on their tape, unfortunately, for the Bombers. Guns out of the net to make a play. Gets it to Little. Little to Frazier. Frazier a shot on. And a blocker save there, excuse me. Now going the other way, Parks dumping it into the Bomber zone. Cormier moves that one up, tipped in by Frazier, but not very far. As the Cougars get it now, a big hit there by Anderson. This particular line for the Bombers had a lot of chances yesterday in their loss to the Gulls. Just couldn't get the puck to work for them. Plenty of great scoring opportunities, this line especially. It's up the line, a shot on. Blocked in front there by Grace as they try and flip it out. Anderson trying to lay the body again. McDonald bringing this one in for the Bombers. Nice move there, but he's taken down. Bombers bench wanted a penalty there. They won't get it. As the Cougars trying to break out now. Cougars also have their fair share of call-ups this game. I didn't quite get all the information on them, so you'll have to excuse me. As that's flipped up, Dixon back, moving that one. Played back in by McDaniel, trying to get it to McDonald, who's pushing through. Dixon playing that one up, a big hit there as McDaniel goes down. Whittemore trying to get it to McDaniel. McDonald's there. Flipping that one up for McIntosh. Nice play to Miller. And a big hit there for McIntosh. Out to the line, Grace dumping that one in. It'll hit the netting, and we'll get a stoppage here. Ryland Landry in between the pipes for the Cougars tonight, or this afternoon. Dumped in by Grace. Landry gloves it up, and he'll keep it. Draw here in the Cougars zone. Timmins pushing this one back off the glass. Marchie trying to play it through. O'Neill doing his best to keep it in. Marchie getting it back, moving it over. Hit off that one. O'Neill trying to play it in. Miller will grab it. Moves it back for Grace. Grace to Hampton. Tipped in there by Bowden. Back for Graves. Grace playing it back into the corner. Braun getting it, moving it to O'Neill, but it's taken there by the Bombers. Grace, a shot on. Hits a body in front, off the ref's arm. That one stung a little. And Grace couldn't keep that one in as it flipped out over his stick. Bowden trying to push it through. Bowden almost taken down there. And the Cougars will flip it up high, trying to feed Parks, who comes off the bench. Grace will grab it and dump it in. On net there, Landry will keep it. .218 left to go here in this first period. Shot 6-1 for the Bombers as they lead 1-0. They set up here in the Cougar zone. Cormier keeping it in low as they try and feed a little in the slot there. He'll get it in, throwing that one in on the backhand. Braun trying to play this one around. Intercepted there. Reed battling forward along the boards. Braun getting himself in there. Dumped in there into the corner by Anderson. As the Cougars try and break things out now. That one will spit out. Anderson trying to throw it right back in. Little battling for it. As they still go at it on the boards here. Intercepted. Flipped out to Matatal. He'll skate it back, moving that over to Cormier. Cormier cutting back into his zone, back to Matatal, and that'll get moved up to Frazier. Frazier, a nice play to Little. Little in with some speed, trying to slip by. He's taken down on the play. Getting by McDaniel into the corner, trying to play it in the slot. And that one doesn't go through. Flip back up, just under a minute left to go here. Whittemore has it back in his own zone. Moving it. Frazier getting it to Little, who tries to get it up to Anderson. Intercepted by Dickinson there. Now back for Whittemore. Looking for an option. He'll move it back over to McDaniel. Intercepted there. O'Neill, a slapper. And the rebound goes back over to Frazier at the top of the zone. He'll flip it out. Dumped back in there on net. Gunn will play it for Whittemore. Blair Whittemore moving that up. McDonald the other way, trying to poke it by Dixon. Still trying to get a jab at it. And that'll be the end of the period. Bombers go up by one early. As we head into the second here, we'll take a short breather. And we'll be back in just a moment with the second period. And welcome back here, folks. Second period about to be underway. The Bombers lead 1-0 thanks to Ty Bowden. As the puck's drop there, it's back for Connor Grace. Moves that one up to Swain, who tips it in. McIntosh racing forward, trying to beat Landry there. Landry gets it around to O'Neill, Kept in at the line by Hampton. Gets it in for McDonald. A shot on, blocked in front there by Graves. Graves going the other way. Trying to poke through. He'll play that one back. No one was there. Now Swain the other way. Has McDonald with him. That pass is intercepted by O'Neill. Now the Cougars the other way. Trying to play this one through. It's Graves. He'll get in. And he's shut down there. Now up to for Swain. Swain will dump it in on. And Landry will play it. Brown for Braun. Braun with it, bringing it out to the neutral. Tipped there by Grace. Miller will get his stick on it. Moves it up for Ross. Ross trying to play it back over. No one was there. It'll get picked up by the Cougars in their own zone. Now up to the line. Matitol playing that one back in. As the Cougars pick it up and bring it the other way. Marchie dumping that one in. Cormier back for it. Cormier skating his way through. Trying to get around there. It's back up for Bowden. Bowden will play it in on the boards. Intercepted there. What a close play for Landry. Took a tumble just as Gunn did in the first period. Little Marc-Andre Fleury play. Now back for Bowden. That's tipped away by Sinnis. And Cormier will dump it in there. Landry out to make a play for that one. Tipped up high, back for Whittemore to McDaniel. McDaniel trying to dump that one in. Now it's for Frazier. He'll walk in a shot. And that's blocked by Braun. Now trying to play this one out. It's Parks. Parks trying to toe drag in. Shut down there as Anderson throws it back out to the neutral. Timmins dumping that one into the corner. Whittemore tripped up there. No call on the play. Up along the boards, trying to tip that one high. Timmins getting himself in the way. Whittemore will pick it up and bring it back into his own zone for McDaniel. Back to Whittemore. Looking for an option. He'll play it up into the neutral for Frazier. Anderson giving it over to Ross. Ross trying to get there along the boards into the corner. Hit off that one by Barry. Up to the line. McDaniel cutting his way in. Around the back of the net. Oh, he'll lose that one to Marchie. Big hit there by Anderson to get the possession back. In for Frazier. Intercepted. Barry trying to play that one out. Anderson getting it back. He'll walk in. Playing it in front. He'll take it out back up to the line. Hampton, a shot on. Tips high. And it's covered up by Landry.
Camera wasn't on.
Back for Grace. Frazier over a 1-2 there from Anderson. Shut down. Draw here in the Cougar zone. Bombers win it back. Little playing it down in deep for Frazier. Frazier in the corner, battling for it with Graves. Little will come in and grab it. Plays it in front. Rebound pops back out to Grace. Grace moving that over. Hampton back to Grace. A shot on. Gloved up by Landry. So your APs for the Cougars. Number 25 is Peyton McKenzie. Number 11, Maddox Carey. Or perhaps not. That's saying a couple names here from the source I have. These names might not be the correct ones. I will try and get some correct info for you folks here as that one's flipped up high out of the play. Played around for Surratt, I believe, and wearing number 16 for the Cougars today. And it's dumped in by Marchie. Into the corner, battling for it, up to the line. Reed trying to play it out. Poking at it, getting it up for McDonald to McIntosh. McIntosh skating his way in. Gets it played over, and Reed can't get the shot off there in the slot. Surratt trying to play this one out. Kept in by Matatal. Shot on, and McIntosh bats at it, trying to throw that one in. Covered up there by Landry. Both teams will get some fresh legs out there as we set up in the Cougar zone. Puck's dropped as the Bombers get it. McDaniel playing it into the slot. Stopped there by Braun. Now behind the net. Swain battling for it as it's played around. Cougars trying to break this one out as it's moved up. Fed to McNeil. McNeil walking in, a shot on. That one goes high and around the glass. Braun couldn't get there to keep it in. So it's back. Moved to Sinis. Sinis dumping that one into the Bomber zone. Played around by Gunn into the opposite corner. Down in behind, McNeil, up for Sinis. Sinis, a shot on, blocked in front by Bowden. That one stung a little. Now Ross. Swain up for Bowden. That's intercepted there by Braun. Swain getting back. Getting it up to Bowden. Bowden working his way in. Drop pass to Ross. Poked away there. Now the Cougars go the other way. Parks. Moving this one in. Kendrick Davis moving a shot. And fans a little bit on that one. Still in possession, however. Trying to circle into the neutral. Or into the slot, excuse me. Grace picking it up now. Grace. A shot on. Caught up on the shoulder there. Landry still keeps it out. As the Cougars trying to break it out now. Miller getting it back for Grace. Up for Anderson. Anderson poking it in on the boards. He's shut down there. It's flipped up high. Kept in. Anderson moving it over to Grace. He'll take a shot. And it's covered up by Landry. Draw here. One back by the Bombers. Miller poking it up to Grace. Down in deep for Anderson to Miller with the 1T. Couldn't get the shot off there. A shot from Hampton. Blocked in front. Little will grab it. A shot on. Blocked. Little again with it. Trying to get it over. Intercepted. Now the other way. Marchie playing that one up. Dumped back in there by Grace. Landry will play it. Moving that around. Barry trying to get there. Anderson moves it back for Miller. Miller's hit off that one. As the Cougars break out, Miller throwing that one into the Cougar zone. Down behind the net, Parks moving it. Timmins couldn't get his stick on it. No icing on that play. Played in front by Braun and intercepted there. Graves couldn't keep it in at the line. He'll circle back, dumping that one in. Bounces around. O'Neill trying to get to the rebound. Turned over in front, and Anderson picks up the rebound. Moves it to Frazier. Poked away. Back for Hampton in his zone. To Grace, back to Hampton. Circles off that one, and the Cougars almost get a quick break there. Timmins, a shot on. Blocked in front by Grace. Now Little the other way. Little trying to push by. A couple nice moves there to get into the corner. Little playing that one in front. Frazier trying to get the shot off, blocked. Little again, a shot on, and that one's in. Clayton McIntosh tips it in from Cohen Little. Getting the second one for the Bombers. As they go up 2-0 halfway through the second period. Draw one back by the Cougars. Sinis playing that one over. Moved up and the Cougars dump it in on the backhand. Moved around McIntosh. Trying to play this one back up the boards. Cormier will poke it up for Frazier. Frazier trying to get by. Braun will get there. Caught up in the ref skate. Cormier pushing by. Cormier now. He'll quarterback this play, bringing it in. Braun trying to take him down. Moved in front by McDonald. McDonald to Frazier, a shot on. A big pad save there from Landry. Now the Cougars trying to break out here. It's back for Cormier. He'll dump it right back in. That puck settled down by Landry between the pipes as it's dumped in by the Cougars there. Gunn. Moving it for Reed. Or excuse me, McDaniel, who's caught up on that play. O'Neill trying to push through. Played back out in front, a shot on, and a glove save there from Gunn, who shuts down Braun on that play. Draw here. One back by the Bombers. Whittemore grabbing behind his net. Trying to get it by. McDaniel in there battling for it as well in the boards. O'Neill getting it. He'll move it to the line. Timmins over to Barry. A shot on. Blocked in front by Bowden. Played back in front. O'Neill trying to get the shot off. Cougars with it. Trying to cycle this one to Barry. He'll keep it in at the line. Ross in the corner battling for it now, as well as O'Neill. Ross firing that one up the boards. Bowden's there. He'll throw it over to the open ice. Reed trying to get there. Timmins beats him to it and dumps it in. McDaniel firing that one down. Reed tipping it in. That's played down the ice there, and it'll be a Cougars icing. Draw here in the Cougar zone. One back by the Cougars, trying to push it through now. Still trying to break into the Bombers zone and set something up. A nice desperation play there from Swain, getting it to Little. Little back for Anderson. Anderson down in deep for Little, tries to play it in the slot. Sticked away there. Hampton a shot on. Tipped wide there by Dixon. Back up Hampton, pinching in, trying to get another shot off. Little couldn't grab it. So it's back. Timmins moving the other way. He'll throw that in. Hampton grabbing it, playing it back around the boards. Grace getting up to Swain, picked up there by Little. He'll walk in, over to Anderson, a shot on, and what a save from Landry as he dives for it and keeps it out. He keeps the Cougars within arm's reach of the Bombers' lead. Little along the boards. Still battling for it. Cougars will get it here. O'Neill trying to play this one out, taken by Swain. He'll move it in. Little, a nice move there. Oh my gosh, what a goal! What a goal for Cohen Little. The backhand forehand toe drag to the backhand. Throws it past Landry. As he puts the Bombers up 3-0. Back for Cormier to Matatal. He'll fire that up to Miller, who tips it in. Playing this one around. McIntosh racing forward. The Cougars try and break things out here. Surratt couldn't reach that one. And it goes down the length of the ice. No icing on this play, however. Matatal moving that one. Surratt pulling it back up to the line. McIntosh intercepts there. He's held up.
You don't see that?
Bombers fans not happy about that one. Looking for a call there. McIntosh moving in. Moves it over to McDonald, and what a goal! McIntosh gets his revenge and assists McDonald, putting the Bombers up 4-0. Just under the halfway mark of this second period. Bombers up 4-0. McIntosh getting his second point of the game. That's pushed through by Whittemore, trying to get that one over. Got a stick in his arm there. He'll play it up to McDaniel, who keeps it in. Down for Bowden. Bowden trying to play this one over. Ross couldn't get there in time. Now Timmins the other way, moving that one to O'Neill. O'Neill trying to skate by using his height. Over, Braun a shot on, blocked in front, and it'll squeak out to the neutral. Braun moving that one. Bowden intercepts. He'll push by now. He's taken down, and we're going to get a penalty here against the Cougars. And the Bombers will head to the power play. This power play for the Bombers is brought to you by Highland Ford, in Westville, Nova Scotia. Bombers a chance here to extend their lead, put a little bit of a cushion on it as we get into the final minutes here of the second period. It's Braun in the box there for tripping. Played around, Frazier couldn't get there. It's down the length of the ice. Whittemore skating this one through to Ross. Ross pushing it by, a nice move there. Poked away, a nice defensive play. Kept in by Whittemore. To McDaniel, back to Whittemore. He'll play it over to Frazier. Frazier flipping it. Shot on by McDaniel, blocker save from Landry. Trying to play this one out. McDaniel keeps it in. To Whittemore. Over to McDaniel. Keeping possession here as he's getting some pressure. Whittemore, shot on. That one goes high, flips behind the net. Bowden back for it. To McDaniel. To Whittemore. Back to McDaniel. That pass goes a little wonky. Bowden gets it in the corner. Takes it behind the net now. Caught up on the boards there. Ross comes in to assist. Bowden holding it. Looking for an option. He'll circle in the corner in front. Back up for McDaniel. To Whittemore. A shot on, and that one goes wide. Ross. And McDaniel couldn't get his stick on it. Goes in between his legs. And back down into the Bombers' end. Whittemore to McDaniel. McDaniel. Up for Little. Poked off his stick. Now marches the other way. Trying to get past Whittemore. He'll skate by. Going wide. Cutting back, and that's intercepted. Little grabbing it. Little working his way in, taking his time, loses that one. He's taken down. No call on this play. Now pushing by, Sims, excuse me. O'Neill pushing in, a shot on. A great play there by O'Neill. As he tries to get that one on, Gunn shuts him down. Both teams will get some fresh legs out there. Just 1 second left on the Bombers' man advantage. And the faceoff will be in the Bombers' zone. So hopefully a good chance here for the Cougars to try and set something up. This is one back by the Bombers. Played up to Anderson along the boards as they try and break this one out. Just under 5 minutes left to go here, the second period. Reed trying to get that one. It's dumped back in. McDaniel moving it. Hampton playing it up for Little. Little to Anderson. Anderson walking in. A shot on and a blocker save from Landry. Reed playing it back for Anderson. Along the boards, Hampton couldn't reach it. He'll rush back for it. Played over, Hampton. Couldn't get his stick on it. Timmins trying to play this one back for the Cougars. Dumped in for Little. Little and Anderson working their way in. Shot on. And a pad save there. Still pushing at it. Couple shots more. Kept out by Landry. Up to the line. Hampton. Shot on. Tipped in front. Little almost tipped that one in. He'll grab the rebound. Moving it into the corner. Flipped up to the line for Grace. A shot on. That one goes wide. And the Cougars trying to play this one out, and they'll get it out to the neutral, where Grace will grab it for the Bombers. Grace. And it's gloved up there by Landry. Draw for it here in the Cougars zone. One back by the Cougars, but McDonald pushing it through for the Bombers. He'll cycle up to the line for Matitol. Shot on, tipped in front. Goes around behind the net for McIntosh. Moves that one to McDonald. McDonald going for the wraparound, and it's in. McDonald makes it 5-0 with his second of the game. Line up at center here as McDonald and McIntosh set up for their second consecutive goal together. As it's moved in deep, Cormier in his own zone, cutting around, flipping that one up. McIntosh feeding McDonald, hits his feet, bounced over his stick. And it stumps back in there by Parks. Moved around the boards. Matitol cycling up to Swain. It goes back for Graves, who dumps it in on net. And off the pad of Gunn. Moving that around. Cormier. Up for McIntosh, who tips it for McDonald. McDonald, nice move there. A little too far ahead. McIntosh trying to lay the body. Back, Marchie. Trying to play this one in. Intercepted by McDaniel, who moves it back into the neutral. Thrown down, intercepted by Bowden. He'll take a shot. Knocks him over. McDonald trying to get another shot. Miller playing it back up. Ross couldn't get that on his stick. Bowden's shot knocked over Landry, just off balance. Is Miller getting that one, dumps it back in to the Cougars' end. Landry playing it. Along the boards, Parks feeds it up, and it's tipped in there. Cougars racing for it. As it goes back, McDaniel trying to play it around. O'Neill, shot on. Covered up there by Gunn, who gets it back behind the net. Ross moving it, Miller there. He'll throw it down into the neutral. Dumped back in there by Graves. Whittemore cutting back to McDaniel. McDaniel feeding it up. Bowden couldn't get his stick on it. It's dumped in by O'Neill. Still battling for it, Whittemore. McDaniel backhanding that one, intercepted. Now McNeil the other way. He'll take a shot. Gloved up or blocker away there by Gunn. Now Miller crossing red. He'll play this one in. Bowden trying to get there. But Braun's back. Braun moving it around for Parks along the boards, who flips it up. Nice play to feed Marchie there. Trying to get his way through. Onside. And it's played up to the line. A shot on. Goes just wide from Braun. Blocked in front. Little trying to play this one around. Kept in by Braun at the line, who dumps it back into the open corner. McDaniel playing this one up. Couldn't keep that one in. Braun feeds it in. It's back for Grace. Grace getting it to Little. Little saucers it over to McDaniel. Back to Grace. Grace feeding Frazier, who tips it in. Landry will come out to play it. Anderson trying to feed it up to Grace. Just 15 seconds left here. Hampton a shot. And that one hits the outside of the net. Close shot there for AP Will Hampton. Grace trying to feed it up. Turned over. Surrett dumping it back in. And that's down in deep. Hampton will finish off this second period here. Bombers go up 5-0 as we head into the intermission here. Shots 27-9. We'll take a short break here. Both teams will head back to their respective locker rooms. And we'll be back in just a moment for the third period. And welcome back here, folks. Third period about to start. Bombers up 5-0. Shots 27-9 as we head into the third period here. Cougars win it back. Graves throwing that one in. And we'll get an icing against the Cougars to start things off. Draw here in the Bombers, or excuse me, the Cougars zone. One back up to the line for Grace. Grace dumping that one in. Played around the boards. Cougars trying to break this one out. Frazier dumping that one back in for the Bombers. Parks feeding it to Timmins, trying to get it by O'Neill, poking at it, but the Bombers will get it back. Ross poked off that one. O'Neill trying to dump it back in. It'll hit off the ref's skate. Hampton battling for it. Up to the line, Timmins, a shot on, and it's tipped in. The Cougars will get their first one on the board. Five to 1 now your score. As Parks tips in that one off of a shot from Timmins from the line. Nice play to beat Gunn on it. Draw one back to Braun. Braun playing that one over. Cougars trying to break in now as they have a little bit of momentum going here. They'd like to push on that. Little bringing that one over. Swain in the slot, trying to play it in. Pass blocked there. Nice play. Now Braun the other way. Braun trying to poke by. Matatal's there. He'll win that one. Swain pushing through. Swain, a nice move there. Taken down off the play. To the line. Little keeping it in. Swain battling for it in low. Back up for Matatal. Matatal shot on. Rebound, flips out to Little, who would take a shot. That one goes high and around the boards. They try and play this one back in. Cougars. Little. Bonaire trying to get his stick on it as it's played back down in. Around the boards, Cougars still trying to break things out here as they move it over to Braun in the open corner. He'll use the boards and get it out to the neutral. McDaniel playing it back for Whittemore. Moving that to Anderson. Anderson trying to sneak by Braun. He'll drop it back for Little. Shot over. And Swain couldn't get the stick on that one there. Back for Barry. Barry having a look at his options. He'll skate it through and dump it in to the Bombers' end. Parks trying to get there. Gunn moves it and gets it to McDaniel. McDaniel. Anderson flips it way up high, right in front of Miller. McDonald will pick it up. Skating his way in, poked away theirs. Excuse me. McDonald is looking for the hat trick today. Play down in, Parks. Couldn't quite get there, and Whittemore will cover it up. Draw here. Cougars zone. McDonald taking it. He'll win it back. Whittemore, quick shot. Blocked in front. Barry behind his net. Hits the ref there again. Second time this game. He's not feeling good. Whittemore pushing in. A shot on. And a blocker save there from Landry. A nice one too. And he'll dive at it and cover it up there. Draw here. Battle for to the dot. Back for Miller. Miller. McDaniel. Fans on that one. Trying to poke it back in. O'Neill couldn't get it out. Miller will throw it in on net and he scores! Lane Miller throws it in from the line. and snipes it top right. Making things 6-1. Cougars win that one back. Graves has it in his own zone. He'll look for a passing option as he gets it up. Hit off that one. Bowden pushing it back in.
On assist, scored by number 7, Lane Miller. Now in the goal, 16-50 to the third period.
Played around the back for Landry. Grabbing that one, Timmons. Trying to play it up. And O'Neill couldn't reach it. That'll be a Cougars icing. Draw one back. Cougars pushing through though. Graves getting by. Now they have a 2-on-1. It's Graves and O'Neill. Graves, a shot on, and that one goes wide and spins back out to the neutral for Braun. Braun dumping this one off the boards. Bonaire keeping it in. Played out as Braun gets there and dumps it right back in. Hampton picking it up. Feels like a look back to Grace. Grace firing that one down for Bowden. Bowden will dump it in. Back for it. Bonaire tries to hit Ross off the path to that one as Timmons moves it. Pushing through. Margie circling around the net. A shot on. Close chance there. Anderson going the other way. Flips it up high. Pass intercepted there by Sims as it goes back. Hampton trying to play it in, and that'll be a Bombers icing as Little couldn't get the stick on it. Draw here in the Bombers zone. One back by the Cougars. Dixon keeping it in at the line. Down in deep, Grace feeling that one, trying to get back. He'll battle for it in the corner. Getting in there is Surrett as well. Played up Anderson. He'll flip that one out. And down the length of the ice. No icing on this play, didn't go far enough. Dixon cutting back. Trying to move this one up. It's played down by Surrett. And that'll be icing against the Cougars. Draw here in the Cougars zone. In deep, Dixon moving around. Barry cycling along the boards. And now the Cougars will bring it out to the neutral. Thrown in by Surrett. Matatal hanging this one back in the corner to Cormier. Cormier using the boards to get it up to Swain. Swain was trying to feed McDonald there. Pass didn't go where he wanted it to. Parks takes down Swain there. Cormier playing that one in. McIntosh trying to gain possession here. Cormier shot, and it's in! Cormier snipes one top right, making things 7-1 for the Bombers. Draw here, one back by the Bombers. Whittemore Throwing it back. McDaniel moving that one. Bowden couldn't get a tip on it. And that'll be icing.
Well, Auburn's goal scored unassisted by number 27, Brett Cormier. Number goal 13-57 in the third period.
Draw here. One back by the Cougars. Played over by Graves. A shot in. So they try and cycle this one around. Whittemore trying to get his stick on it. Played up in front. Back up to the line. Graves has it. A shot on. Shot's going on. Back up to Graves. Graves. Nice move there, but it's poked by Miller, who gets it out to the neutral. Cougars will have to regroup. Graves trying to bring it in again. Intercepted by Whittemore. Pushing the other way. O'Neill gets it to Marchie, who's hit off that one there. Bowden playing it in. And they make a collision with the ref. As it's back for McDaniel. Played off the boards. Reed trying to get there. As that's dumped in. Reed almost loses his balance there. O'Neill on the boards. Trying to break this one out for the Cougars. Moved up. Grace gets it back into his own zone so the Bombers can regroup. McDaniel firing that one down, intercepted. Bowden trying to regain possession here. He'll get pushed down. As Benair plays it back. And it's dumped in. Played up off the boards. Braun getting back for it, recovering for the Cougars. As it's dumped in there to the open corner. Play back, Anderson has a little bit of room here, he'll walk in. Caught and a big hit there, Anderson. Lays down Braun on that play. As it's flipped out by the Cougars. Playing it up to Little. Little crossing red. He'll bring it across blue over to Reed, who loses that one. He'll cut back and recover. Along the boards, Grace with a shot and a blocker save there from Landry. Little grabbing that one, playing it in front. Anderson tries to get the 1-tee off there. He'll cycle it back up to Grace with a shot on. Pad save. Anderson picking up the rebound again. He'll throw it back down where the Cougars grab it. Trying to throw this one out. Timmons intercepted by Reed. He'll keep it in the zone. And it's cleared there by Braun. Moved over to Grace now as the Bombers have possession. Grace dumping it in. Cougars tipping it out to the neutral. Now Marchie has a little bit of room here. Grace trying to shut him down, and he will. Marchie grabbing it in the corner. Grace now playing this one to Anderson to Little. Marchie's back for it, but Frazier poking that one in to the Cougars zone. A big hit there from Anderson again. Hampton throwing that one back into the corner for Anderson. He'll cycle it up. Hampton, nice play there to feed Little. A shot on, and a glove save from Landry. Draw here in the Cougars zone. One back by Dixon. Dixon still in possession, trying to play this one out. It'll go back. Cormier moving it to Matatal, back to Cormier. Throws it in, McIntosh feeding McDonald. Still has it, plays it in for Swain. A nice move and a save there from Landry. McIntosh trying to get at it there. As Sims bringing it in, Graves a shot on. Gloved up by Gunn. Thought he didn't have it there, but still covered up and made the save. Draw here in the Bombers zone. One back. Graves trying to take a shot. Blocked, and now Matatal going the other way. Pushing through. He'll cut back and dumps it in. The Bombers will have to clear here as it's offside. Cougars playing this one in. Matatal will get back for it. His gun settles it down for him. Played around. Cormier. Stretch pass to Miller. Trying to feed Ross, and he will. Ross and Bowden walking in. Ross will lose that one. Dangled one too many times. Bowden recovering, however. Back to Ross. A shot on. Blocked by Braun. Ross hitting Braun off of it. Getting it to Whittemore, who dumps it in. Big hit there by Ross, and that one is not going to fly for the refs. And now the Cougars will head to a power play. As Ryan Ross heads to the box. We'll go back down to the Bomber zone. Cougars with the man advantage. A chance to get another one up on the board. McDaniel getting it down in deep for Whittemore. Bombers have possession in their own zone as they try and kill this off. Whittemore trying to throw it down. Picked up by Anderson. Anderson skating it in. Avoids the hit there. Into the corner. Now Graves with possession. Moves that one. Cougars will break it out now. It's up for Graves. Graves flying by, but Anderson shuts him down. Little trying to poke through. Back from Archie. Plays that up. Parks pushing it by. Nice move there to cut back. Feed Graves. Graves. Braun. A shot on. And it's gloved up by Mason Gunn. Here. One back by the Cougars. Played in. Barry circling back, giving it to Braun at the line. Back to Barry. Barry saucers it over to Graves, who couldn't get his stick on it. Grace will get it up to McDonald, and now the Bombers will bring it out. McDonald playing that one in. Braun circling around. He'll bring it out as Grace dumps it right back in. Graves cutting by. Graves with some speed. He'll bring it in. A nice move there. Cutting in. A shot. And he scores. What a goal. What a goal from the captain, Graves. End to end. Throws it in. Bar down past Mason Gunn. Throwing another one up onto the board for the Cougars. One back by the Bombers. Matatal playing that one in. Reed flicking up high into the Cougar zone. Now they'll try and bring it out the other way. Reed intercepts. Plays it in for Ross. Dixon will take that one back. And he'll skate the other way. Dixon walking in. A shot on. Covered up by Gunn. Draw here in the Bombers zone now. One back by the Bombers. Matatal using the boards. They try and play it out. It's kept in. Not for long. McDonald feeding McIntosh. McIntosh trying to push by. Poking it through. He'll cut back around the back of the net. Looking for a lane. Tries to get it up to Cormier. And that one will slip by. Back in to the Bomber zone. Whittemore. Back for Cormier. Fires that up. McDonald trying to feed, or McIntosh trying to feed McDonald there. It's played back in deep to the Cougar zone. McDaniel at the line, a shot. Pad save, another shot goes just wide there. McDaniel at the line with it again. He'll play it in off the boards. But Timmins, gets it out. Surratt trying to gain possession here. He'll dump it into the Bombers' end. Whittemore playing it up to McIntosh, who's shut down there by Braun. Tries to play it over. Swain pushing through. McIntosh, a shot on. Pad save. And now the Cougars the other way. Graves pushing by again. Has Parks with him. Graves, a shot and a save from Mason Gunn. And now we're going to get a penalty here. It'll be against the Cougars as Parks heads to the box. Bombers head to the power play. This power play is brought to you by Highland Ford in Westville, Nova Scotia. Played back to the line. Grace looking for an option. Moves it over to Anderson. Plays it in deep for Miller. Looking for his second. Back up to the line. Grace. Cuts back. Was it to Anderson? Anderson back to Grace. Grace, a shot on. Gloved up there by Landry. Draw here in the Cougars zone. Bombers have a minute 39 left on their man advantage. One backed. Matatal playing that one over to Grace. Grace looking over to Anderson. A shot. Rebounds alive. Anderson will pick it up and circle back. Anderson to Grace. Grace having a look. Back to Anderson. Shot on again. Covered up by Landry. Draw here in the Cougars zone again. One back by Little. Anderson gets it up to Grace. Grace to Ross with a 1T. Blocked in front there by McNeil. Now they'll battle for it in the corner. McNeil grabbing it. He'll try and play it around as he gets it to Dixon. Back to McNeil. Tries to play it out, but it's kept in by Grace. Grace. Ross again with the 1T. And a pad save from Landry. Cougars going the other way. Ross intercepts that one, and he'll bring it back in. Cutting in, a shot on from behind. Goes around the boards, up to Little at the line. Little, over to Anderson. Anderson feeding into the slot. Ross tried to go for the 1T again. Fans on that one. Grace racing to keep it in, just at the line. Grace. Cutting it back to Anderson. Anderson. Leaving it for Grace. They'll switch spots. Anderson for the 1T. And it's in. That one tipped in by Matatal off of Anderson's 1T. Makes things 8-2 for the Bombers. Draw here at center. One back by the Cougars. It's off for Barry. Barry trying to use the boards to play it out. Timmins cutting back. And he'll play it back down into his zone. Bombers racing after it. Swain in there. As it's played around the boards. Bowden trying to push this one through. Back for Whittemore. He'll move it in deep. As the Cougars try and go the other way, Whittemore shuts them down again. Frazier working his way in. He'll throw it in front. Rebound. Swain trying to go for the wraparound. Rebound still bouncing. And the Cougars will grab it as it's flipped out. Marchie trying to beat this one, but Gunn will play it for McDaniel. McDaniel plays it back for Whittemore. Whittemore cutting back. Takes his time with it as he gets it up to Bowden. Bowden a shot on. Tipped as it goes wide. Up to Whittemore who throws it back in. Braun back for it. Braun to Graves. Graves cutting. He'll bring it into the neutral. Graves hit on, or he still has it. Graves a shot on. And that one goes up into the netting as he tries to beat him top right. Gunn makes the save with his helmet. Draw here in the Bombers zone. Up to the line, Graves with a 1T. Goes wide, around for Braun. Braun keeping it at the line, he'll throw it on. Cormier battling for it, trying to get this one out for the Bombers as he cycles it up to McIntosh. McDonald trying to get it back to McIntosh. Passes a little too far ahead. McIntosh still with it. A shot on. Rebounds alive. And they're taken out there. Braun rushed at McDonald. Bombers thought they were going to get a penalty there. Draw here. Pushed through by O'Neill as he moves it to Surratt, who dumps it in to the Bomber zone. Cormier in the corner of his end, playing this one up. McIntosh feeding it off the glass, trying to get it to McDonald. They can't get that one. O'Neill battling for it on the boards now. And now we're going to get a stoppage here as it's under O'Neill. The draw will be just outside the Cougar zone. 1:43 left in play. Bombers win it back. It's dumped in by Hampton there. They try and play this one around. Cougars cycling, and Hampton keeps it in. Tipped in front by Anderson, a little wide. Dixon in the corner here, held up by Anderson. Little will come in to help. Dixon cycles it around for Parks along the boards. Parks flipping that one up high. And McNeil will push through for it. McNeil shut down there by Hampton as he flips it up to Anderson. Hampton feeding Grace. Anderson bringing it in now. And he lays the body there. Moved around. Cougars still trying to break out here. Anderson keeping them in. And now we're going to get a penalty here. Bombers keeping their cool. As Anderson got a little bit of a push to the face there, keeping his helmet on. And now we might be getting another call. We will. So Sims heads to the box there. Just 43 seconds left to go here. Bombers on the power play. This power play brought to you by Highland Ford on the Lotus Drive, Westville. The Bombers trying to win this one back. Frazier to the line for Grace. Grace feeding it for Cormier. He'll throw it in, rebound. They're all poking at it. And the whistle's blown there. Landry covers it up. 32 seconds left in play. Bombers lead 8-2. Shots 46-16 here. It's up to the line. Frazier over to Grace. Grace walking in, throws that one wide. Whittemore keeping it in. Down in deep, Ross. Ross up, and that one goes down the length of the ice there. Pass was a little off. Bombers will regroup. Just 10 seconds left to go here. Grace trying to play it up. Off the boards. Bowden racing for it. He'll push it in. And the Cougars will clear it, and that will be the end of the game. Bombers with a bounce-back win, making it 8-2. Getting the first win of this home schedule that they have this weekend here. Bombers play their third and final home game this weekend tomorrow morning at 11 against the Bearcats. So make sure to tune into that one. Final score 8-2. Final shots 46-16. Bombers take the win. That'll be enough for me here, folks, today. Thank you for tuning into High Button Sports for your U15 major.